Imagine that a deck of playing cards is split into 3 piles, and you being the spectator can select any pile and just think of one of those cards. Then all the piles are taken, mixed together, and shuffled several times, eventually being handed over to you. You being the spectator can deal cards from the mixed pile until you'd like to stop, and ultimately you end up on your thought of card. This self-working card trick will actually cause brain malfunctions. What up, crew? Happy New Year and welcome to the first video of 2023. And if you're watching this in the future, well, good day. If you're joining me here for the first time, hey there, my name is Vineet and I go by CardMechanic here on YouTube, and this is your place to learn magic, master your performance, and captivate audiences. The card trick that I'm about to share with you completely blew my mind when I first saw it and left me absolutely speechless. It took me hours to figure out how this self-working card trick was done, and now I'm going to be sharing it with you. So buckle in, smash that like button, hit subscribe, grab your deck of playing cards, and now let's do it. Alright, yo, so check this out. For those of you who are curious, today we're going to be using the Palm IO playing cards by Pocket Aces. And just check out that nice, luxurious look. We'll start off by giving the deck a bit of a shuffle, something like this, maybe a bit more of a shuffle, something like this, and then just a couple of cuts because we have the option to do that. We'll square it up, and I'm going to hand this packet over to you, and I want you to cut approximately half the deck. Let's just say you cut the deck right around here, put the rest of the cards over to the side. And now we're going to split this into 3 packets. There we go, something like this, something like this, and that should be fine. We'll put the rest over to the side. So now we have 3 packets of cards. I want you to select any one of these packets, and that's going to be your selected packet. Let's say this one right here. Take a look and remember one card in this packet, okay? Take a look and remember just one card in this packet. Of course, since you're not actually here, let me pick one card at random. Let's just say this card right over here. Take a look and remember that card, and do not forget it. We can take this card, put it back in the packet, shuffle that up, put this smack in the middle of the other packets, shuffle that up as well. There we go. And I'm going to do one more thing. Again, split the cards into 3 different piles. You can, mess it up, put whatever cards in whichever piles, and that should be good enough. All right. Now here's where it gets a bit more fun, a bit more interactive. I want you to predict or take a guess at which pile contains your card. You think it's this one? No, you think it's this one? Okay, well, check it out. I want you to tell me, yes or no, is your card in this pile? All right, and this is, we're just checking how strong your senses are. So let's say it's not in this pile, okay, and pick one of these 2. Let's just say you pick this one because I already picked it up. Is your card in this pile? Just think. Tell me yes or no. No, it's not in this pile. That means your card has to be in this pile, because if it's not in this pile, I have no idea what to tell you. Is your card in this pile? That means yes. I mean, it has to be in this pile. Again, we'll take all these piles and we'll give it a quick little shuffle. And we'll do this one last time, except this time we're going to see if you can actually guess in the first try which pile your card is in. So let's split this up, and actually we don't even have to do it in order. We can shuffle it up a little bit like this. 2 cards, 2 cards, 2 cards, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. There we go. Now, using your powerful senses, select which pile you think your card is in. The center pile. Okay, here we go. Let's see if your senses led you in the right direction. Is your card in this pile? No. Okay, well, all right, it's okay, it's okay. Let's see if we can just do better than last time. Which one of these 2 piles contains your card? Let's just say this pile right here. Is your card in this pile? Yes or no? No, your card's not in this pile. Okay. Well, clearly we need to practice your magic skills, or in this case, we need to practice my magic skills. But that means your card should be present somewhere in this pile. If it's not here, I have no idea where it could be. But let's just say you say yes, it is in that pile. So we're gonna do one final thing, okay? I'm gonna hand over this packet to you, and I want you to slowly start dealing cards until you feel like stopping. So let's just say you slowly start dealing cards, and just get a feel of each card as you're dealing it down. All right? And whenever you want to stop, let's just say you want to stop right here. So you had the freedom of shuffling up the piles. You mentally thought of the card. You did all that. I had no idea where the card was or what the card was the entire time. And now we're going to do this. I want you to take a look at the next card that you would have dealt. And I want you to tell me, was that your selected card? Well, of course, it was the 7 of spades. Alright, yo, so welcome to the tutorial. Just to give you some background on this effect, I originally saw this performed by Ryan Hayashi on his YouTube channel, and it just absolutely blew me away. Like I was saying in the beginning, it took me hours to go ahead and actually figure this out, and I'm finally going to be sharing with you. I think you're really going to love this trick. And if you haven't had a chance to watch his performance, I'll put the link to it down in the description. So given that background, let's go ahead and break it down. So a few things to know about this card trick. When you start off, I want you to hand the deck over to the spectator and allow them to shuffle it up. Because really the whole theme of this card trick is to maximize the spectator interaction, and that's what's really going to sell this whole effect and get you the powerful reaction that you're looking for. So like I mentioned, this is self-working, so most of it will depend straight up on your performance. So once they're satisfied with shuffling up this deck of playing cards, ask them to cut about half the deck, and ideally you want them to cut a bit more than half. So cut about half the deck, let's just say this many cards right here, take and put the rest of the cards over to the side. And now you're going to break this down into 3 piles of 9 cards, so a total of 27 cards. And this is a really cool principle that works, which I'll talk a bit more about at the end. So let's just say you break them up by 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. So now you have 3 piles of 9 cards each. You can toss the rest of the cards over to the side. If you feel like you don't have enough and you are short a couple of cards, feel free to just take some of the cards that you had over to the side and add them on. It really won't make a huge impact. So now that you have these 3 piles, ask the spectator to select any one of these 3 piles that they're going to be choosing a card from. Let's just say they take this pile here. You're going to ask them to look and memorize just one card. And they're not going to point it out, they're not going to say anything, just remember that one card in their mind. Let's just make that card the 3 of spades, hopefully you can see that. So that card's there. You can hand this packet over to the spectator and have them shuffle it up if they'd like. Just something like that, because, you know, why not? Then you put that between these packets here. And now you can allow the spectator to shuffle this up as well. So really, you're giving them so much power in what they're allowed to do. So that card is completely lost. You don't know what that card is. They don't know where that card is. You don't even know what that card is. But this is where the real magic comes into play. You're going to cut this packet into 3 piles. Right, so split that up into 3 piles. Something like this. If you want to add, you know, do 3, 3, 3, you can do that as well. And I feel like that'll probably make it easier. So you went ahead and did that. From here, you're going to show the spectator each one of these piles, but not exactly show them in the way you might think. This is where the interaction really comes along with the spectator and how you're going to be selling this effect. So you're going to have them hover their hand over all these piles and ask them where they feel like the greatest pull, which packet gives them the greatest pull, and you want them to select that packet. Let's just say this one right here. So you take this packet and show the whole packet to the spectator and ask them, is your card in this pile? And of course our card is a 3 of spades. We can see that card is in this pile, and they would say, yes, my card's in this pile. So 1, I'd say, good job on figuring out which pile your card is in. And 2, I'd say, okay, good work. Let's try this one more time and see if you can do it again. So you take this pile, put it on top of this one here, and put that on top. So their pile of 9 cards is now on top of the deck. From here, I'd recommend you giving the pile a false cut, just so it seems like the card gets lost somewhere in the center of the deck. And you're going to do the exact same thing again. You're going to deal 3 piles of 9 cards. Here we go. And at this point, after you've dealt 9 cards going around, you could even say, I'm going to shuffle this up a little bit just to mix up the order, because you've already dealt their card. And you can take 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. So they've done it the first time. Now you're going to see if they can do it a second time. So you go about the same procedure, go look through all the piles, whatever it is. Let's say they select this pile, their card's obviously not there. They'd say no. They look in this pile, their card is not there. They would say no. They look in this pile, they see that their card is there. They're going to say yes. Now note one thing about this pile. Their card is located at number 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's really the power of this of these 27 cards split into these 3 packets, because regardless of whatever you do here, as long as you follow the pattern that I showed you, their card will always be at number 7. So 3 of spades, you can see, is at number 7. Square all this up. Again, all this goes right on top. And now you're ready to start doing the dealing aspect. But before you do that, one thing again I'd recommend is giving the false cut. If you don't know how to do that, I'll put the link to it on the screen somewhere. You can go ahead and check that out. If you give the deck a false cut, you hand this packet over to the spectator and ask them to start dealing cards off one at a time until they feel like stopping. And tell them to do it really slowly while feeling each of those cards. Now, most of the time, as you probably saw in my performance, well, my performance doesn't really matter, but as you saw in Ryan Hayashi's performance, if you were able to watch that video, as he's dealing through, he asks the spectator to stop anywhere, right? Let's just say they stop right around here. And this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. Then you tell them if they stopped here to flip over the next card, and that would be their selected card, the 3 of spades. Now let's just say they were dealing again, right? They were taking their time, dealing slowly. I'm just speeding it up here. And they dealt an extra card. Then you tell them if they dealt the 7th card to flip over this card, and that card would then be the 3 of spades. So that's only 2 of the outcomes, but there are a lot more outcomes when you're doing this this trick in front of the spectator. So this is kind of where you need to focus. I'd say most of the time they're going to stop around the 6-7 card mark. I haven't tried this card trick too much. I've actually performed it like maybe 4 or 5 times at this point. And I would say 3 out of the 5 times they've stopped around this mark. Right? Again, if you emphasize them to do it very slowly and take their time, think about every single card, chances are they're not going to go deep down and they're going to stop around the 6-7 card mark. And I would also recommend for you to not have them count how many cards they're dealing. Just let them go by feeling. Okay? That actually rhymed. I liked it. So let's try this one more time. Let's say they did not stop where you wanted them to stop. And one other thing I'd recommend is before you do this card trick, right, kind of test out your audience with other card tricks to see if they're, I guess, a bit more of an aggressive audience where they don't really follow directions that well, or if they're a bit more passive and just want to have fun with you, not fun with you, but like just want to have fun watching or, you know, with the whole experience, then I feel like this would work a little better, right? So now let's say you have a bit more of an aggressive audience who just keep dealing, right? So 3, 4, 5, 6, again, 7th card is the spectator selected card, and they just keep dealing, right? And they want to stop around here. So what do you do? Because now at this point you're completely lost. What you can do is tell them to take this packet away, square up this packet, and now you know that this the card right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from 7 from the bottom. So that's your selected card. And while they're dealing, you should count how many cards that they have dealt. Right? So you count 3 and 3, that's 6 cards. And you ask them to repeat the process one more time. Now let's say that they're dealing, and now they want to stop short, right? So they stop short. And at this point, you're kind of going with the magician's choice. You could say, all right, so we'll eliminate these cards and we're left with just these. So we have 4 and 4. You know that the card's going to be here. If you're following carefully, the card is 2nd from the top. Have them split it up. Just have them select one of these 2 piles. You don't say what you're going to do with one of these piles. Break it up. Let's just say they select this pile. You can toss that over to the side. You're left with this. Again, do the same thing, process of elimination, until you're left with this one single card, and it's their selected card, the 3 of spades. Comment down below your thoughts on this trick, and if you had the chance to try it out yourself, I'd love to hear your stories. Unless they suck, then keep them to yourself. If you enjoyed this effect and want to check out another self-working card trick, click on this video right over here. I think you'll enjoy it, and if you don't, that's okay. That's okay. Thanks so much for spending your time with me today. It was a pleasure having you here. Have a great day ahead, and I hope to see you in the next video.